Alright guys, alright. So there's no videos yesterday. This whole Elon Musk thing was still developing and I was just like, and then I fell asleep on the couch waiting. So I knew about this possibly was going to happen late last week. I was told in secret that, yes, Elon Musk was looking into buying Twitter. At first I thought it was a joke. And then I thought, if he buys it, that'd be interesting. But we've had a lot of significant developments between now and then. So we're just going to basically recap this whole Elon Musk, Twitter saga, everything you need to know. Just basically wrap it all up into one video to up-to-date info. So, in case you're living under a rock and you have not heard, Elon Musk had bought roughly 9.2% of Twitter stocks. Now, there is a limit as to how much he can buy. Generally, that limit is around 15%. So he pretty much mostly maxed it out. There's still a couple of extra shares and stuff he can buy. A couple extra percent, but he basically maxed it out. And this has literally made him the single biggest holder for Twitter, per se, at the moment. So, good on Elon. Now, there's a couple of reasons why he's doing this. One, obviously, I think he has seen what happened with Jack Dorsey and his tweets and his conversation regarding how he feels responsible for the downfall of the internet. Elon Musk was always playing around with the idea of having his own social media platform. So, obviously, some sort of Twitter rival. They were probably scared that he would actually probably be able to pull it off, because a lot of people just join these things just to see what Elon Musk would say. Where Donald Trump, obviously it's important that Trump is on social media, but at the end of the day, it's not as, he has the pull, but Elon Musk is probably even a bigger star on social media than Donald Trump is, which is really saying something. So Elon Musk going out and making his own platform probably would actually be a threat. And they really couldn't claim that he's that, bad guys from World War II. Because at the end of the day, he generally hasn't done anything even that can be remotely prescribed as anything like that. So they really can't attack him for it. And plus he has a lot of money. So at the end of the day, there's that. So he went through and he's brought the shares and got himself a Twitter board seat. Now, this is obviously very, very important, because if you're sitting on the board of Twitter, now you can actually go through and actually affect change to a microscopic level. So at the end of the day, he might be able to suggest things like having an edit button. He might be able to suggest unbannings, changing their stance on free speech. He has some sway when it comes to this, and obviously depending on the rest of the board as to which way they would go. So if he was able to get, 3 or 4 members of the board and it was an 8-board seat, for example, then obviously he would be able to have a decent swing. And at the end of the day, this is where obviously the mainstream media is shitting a brick. Because they're like, how much power does Elon Musk actually have at Twitter? He doesn't have a lot of power per se himself. Yes, he is on the board. Yes, he can affect change. But the biggest power that Elon Musk has would be getting other members of the board to back him up. And that's where this is really going to come into play. So Elon Musk and Twitter have always been a violent combination. Whatever. Especially unlike charge now, with Elon Musk a 9.2 stake in the social media company. The stake, which was disclosed in the regulatory filing on Monday, is valued at more than $3 billion. For context, Twitter's CEO, founder Jack Dorsey, stake in Twitter is only over 2%. So, for example, if Elon Musk gets his 9.2, say Jack supports him, that's another 2%. At the end of the day, he can start getting these other board members to back him up. And that's where his real power will come into it. So he's and Dorsey, who stepped down as CEO in November 2021, is leaving Twitter's board when he turns and in May. So at the end of the day, maybe Elon might buy more of those shares. Who knows? Musk's board term will last until 2024. The company said in a separate regulatory filing, functionally making him more powerful figure than than Dorsey going forward. Looking forward to working with Twitter CEO Parag Agrawal, might be mispronouncing, and board member to make a significant improvements to Twitter in the coming months. So in March of 26 tweet, in a March 26 tweet, Musk accused the platform of failing to adhere to free speech principles and said he was going to give serious thought to building his own social media platform. We'll talk about that in a sec. A regulatory filing with the Security Exchange Commission shows that Musk acquired his Twitter stake on March 14th. Meaning he was already Twitter's largest outside shareholder when he publicly called out the platform. So what I think has happened here is that they probably heard rumours that he was upset with Twitter and whatnot, and things he's probably said on stuff like the Lex Fridman podcast or Joe Rogan's podcast or whatever it may be. They probably heard him bashing them for free speech and possibly mentioning something like buying or making his own platform. And this has literally scared them into like, whoa, like, this is a problem. Elon Musk goes off and makes his own platform. This is going to actually give us some serious competitors. And we can't use the usual tricks to go through and discredit them. Right? So at the end of the day, they might have been a bit concerned about this. And what I think has happened is that Elon Musk said to him, well, look, I'll buy stocks in your company. I'll buy 9%, 9.2%. You give me a board seat and I won't start up a rival company. And that's what I think has basically happened. Right? So they're like, instead of just letting the platform crash to the ground, and they're probably not happy with the way the stock price has been going lately anyway, they're probably like, well, let's get Elon Musk on the board and maybe he can turn the ship around. So, obviously, at the end of the day, it doesn't really go into detail about how much info or influence he has. It just says that he has more stocks than Jack Dorsey. So, Jack Dorsey said he's really happy Elon Musk is joining the Twitter's board. Take a look at the intro of their crypto bromance. Evolution, of their crypto bromance. So both Jack Dorsey and Elon Musk emerged as quasi-Bitcoin ambassadors, using their Twitter platforms to spout their devotion to the virtual currency. We don't really care about that. Elon Musk joins Twitter board after becoming its largest, I think that actually says largest board member, largest shareholder, yeah. Right, and then obviously things like this, like Elon Musk teases significant improvements after joining Twitter's board of directors. A lot of people are saying things like bring back Alex Jones, bring back Donald Trump, bring back Sargon of Akkad and Milo Lipinopoulos, I might be mispronouncing his last name. Bring back all these conservatives that were banned from the platform for very little, if any, reason whatsoever. And there's an argument to be had to bringing some of these people back, considering the fact that if you obviously want to go through and to have a platform that is, not like the reason why we have Gab and Parler and Truth Social, just Donald Trump's Truth Social, is because of the fact that conservatives were banned from Twitter, right? So at the end of the day, if they start bringing back the conservatives to Twitter, like Babylon Bee, there's a big push right now to unban the Babylon Bee. So if they were to bring back these conservative leaning figures on Twitter, then obviously this would allow a lot of the people to come back, which obviously increases their stock market, right? So obviously the board is all going to be for this. But obviously, at the end of the day, the Twitter staff themselves are quietly filling out their resume because a lot of them just don't want to work for Elon Musk. They have a political difference when it comes to him. They don't like what he says when it comes to freedom of speech because obviously the far left is into censorship these days. So a lot of them are quietly filling out their resumes and updating their resumes because they're thinking about leaving, which I'm fine for. If you want to trim some of the fat of the blue-haired, pink-haired, purple-haired persuasion, I think that might be a good idea. Maybe you can get some more conservatives in there. So at the end of the day, but the funny thing is that Substack VP tells Elon Musk haters leaving Twitter to not come and work for them because they support free speech. I keep hearing about Substack. I've been meaning to check it out, actually. So at the end of the day, it's just like, yeah, it's like, Substack is like, yeah, if you have a problem with Elon Musk and free speech, don't come and work here. Which is kind of funny in itself. But yeah, a lot of people that work at Twitter are talking about leaving and joining other platforms, and that's where obviously this Substack comes into it. Obviously, they're not going to work at Gab, they're not going to work at Parler or Truth Social, and obviously Substack is not interested in having them either. But at the end of the day, as for Elon Musk, what power does he actually have? In my view of things, I would say a little bit, but not a lot. I would say the real power that Elon Musk has is actually more to do with him teaming up with other board members and affecting change that way. So it depends how many board members there are. Let's find out. How many board members on Twitter's board? I know I spelled that wrong, but still. So here we go, board of directors. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there's only 10 directors. 11 now because Elon Musk is on there. So like for example, say Elon Musk, Jack Dorsey, and we'll just throw a couple of these other people in, were to team up and push for Twitter to become a free speech platform. That's where his real power is in numbers. Now, obviously, a lot of the people on here would be tempted to join Elon Musk if he was to push for anything like this. He does have the oomph behind him to do it, and that's where the real threat comes. That's where Elon Musk really is making them run scared. Is because at the end of the day, is that he can turn around and say to Praga, to Jack Dorsey and to a few others, hey, support me on this bill. I want to bring back free speech to Twitter. They might get 4 of the 8 or 10 board or whatever, and that might be enough for the rest of the board to vote on it. And that's where his real power comes into it. It's not in himself. It's in him working with other board members. Especially Jack Dorsey still been on there. He actually might be more lenient to work with Elon Musk, especially when it comes to his recent views about how they've destroyed the internet. So at the end of the day, yeah, that's where his real power comes. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Do you think this is a good thing for Twitter? I can't see a bad side to it. I think at the end of the day, obviously the Twitter stock price has jumped. There's like something like Elon Musk has already made like $3 billion or something ridiculous from this deal, just by the share price itself. But guys, let us know what your thoughts are. Do you think they should unban the Babylon Bee, Trump, Sargon of Akkad, Carl Benjamin, a lot of these other conservatives? Do you think at the end of the day the conservatives should come back to Twitter? Or do you think they're better off just staying on Gab and Parler? Let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Obviously, this video has been helpful. Please smack that like button if you're new to the channel. Welcome and subscribe. And apart from that, guys, we'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night and enjoy.